right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Mayhem. It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode. Super excited to have you with me this week. What a great show last week. If you guys didn't catch that, I interviewed Ryan Millsap, a successful entrepreneur, visionary, real estate investor, film producer, just all around great guy and conservative that, you don't find a lot in Hollywood kind of thing. But that's because he's a Georgia boy. He's a Georgia boy. And had a great conversation with him. Hey, I may be having more, who knows, in the future. But sharp guy, really enjoyed the conversation with him. Go catch that episode if you hadn't already. We had a really great time, really great conversation about everything. We could have probably talked for several hours about the stuff we did. But that was last week. This is this week, and you're tuning in. So thank you for being here with me this week. If it's your first time tuning in, this is the Morning Mayhem. I have a Friday morning show at 10 a.m. that goes up every week. More on that in a second. And I will break down the segments and release those throughout the week as little bite-sized pieces called the Morning Nuggets. And then every now and then I'll have some reaction videos that come out. I just had one drop recently that I did with a very good friend of mine, Robert Herr of the Washcast, of a band he introduced me to called Sleep Token. They had a new single drop, and we did a dual reaction to that, which was pretty cool. Now, he had heard it several times. I hadn't heard it yet. So it was legit my first time hearing it in reaction to that. That is up on Rumble and Odyssey. And I think that might be it. Yeah, because YouTube completely blocked it. But I am currently disputing that. And we'll see. Hopefully I can get that published and public before too long. So be on the lookout for that. Like I say, sometimes I'll do some other reaction videos, which I'll actually be doing here in the next week or so. Coming up, so be on the lookout for those. I do say that to say this is that I won't be doing a show next week. So I've got the show today. I've got Off the Rails tomorrow night. I've got my next Monday Night Mayhem Live on Monday, and I'm going to take that next week off because I've got to finish editing a project that I'm working on, and then I've got a photography job coming up that weekend or the following weekend. So I got to get stuff together for that. So I'm just going to try to knock it all out in one go instead of taking multiple weeks off or anything like that. So no show next week. All right, again, back up a little bit. I mentioned Off the Rails and the Monday Night Mayhem live. My live stream that I do once a month is coming up this coming Monday. Off the Rails tomorrow night is going to be, of course, over on Third Railify's channel. You'll see it scrolling around down here somewhere. But every Saturday night, Third Railify's channel, Off the Rails, 10 p.m. Eastern time, God's time. We're going to have a special guest on, Coach Joyce. She has a ministry that she's starting on YouTube, Rumble. I don't remember where all right now. I know on Rumble, but tuned in there before, and we've talked about maybe going on her show and working with her a little bit. But it's going to be a conversation about faith, and really looking forward to that. You guys know I don't keep my faith a secret at all. It's not something I always put out there forefront in front of everybody, but it is something that is near and dear to my heart. So much so that because April is the month that Easter is in, Monday night, when we have the next Monday Night Mayhem Live, we have a great panel that's going to be joining me, and we are, of course, going to be talking about faith. So a little double dip of faith right there. We're going to be talking about faith, and then I'm going to try to work out an interview with my pastor and talk about Easter and have an episode up on that before too long. Hopefully you guys can watch, and it'll help me keep from, again, skipping too many weeks to try to get these projects finished. Because I don't want to take time away from you guys. Too much news rolling out, too much time away from you guys. I can't afford to miss all that. So yes, that's kind of what's going on here coming up soon. And then the Monday Night Mayhem Live is also 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's Monday night. That's going to be April 7th. I think I got that right. April 7th, Monday night, 10 p.m. Eastern time. I've been on X, maybe some of the other platforms, still everywhere. Truth Social, Minds, Facebook, Gab, wherever. Slowly promoting that show and talking about who all is going to be on there. So we've got more folks coming on, and some people may be able to pop in and out or not stay the whole time. So fine tuning some of that, and I'll be rolling that out here in the next couple of days, so you know who all is going to be on that panel. And I'm really looking forward to that. a lot's happened this past week. Let's talk about a couple of things real quick. A Working Man, starring Jason Statham, beat out Snow White at the box office. I don't know if anybody saw that coming, but at the same time, I don't think that caught anybody by surprise because it's Snow White. Cory Booker talked a lot. More on that later. Let's see. Sydney Sweeney. She is now single. So, do with that information what you will, I guess. John Boyega fires off on the fans that wanted to see his character arc in Star Wars as opposed to Disney, who shrunk his image on foreign posters and turned him into a punchline. Yeah, kind of misguided there, John.
Dumbass.
But it's all in the attempt to play the victim and play the race card. Of course, we've seen that, and of course we lost Bruce Wayne, the Iceman, Jim Morrison, and Doc Holliday all on the same day. And of course, I'm talking about Val Kilmer, just a fantastic actor. And yeah, it's sad to see folks go that you've watched from your childhood. So there's that. It was Batman. Love Batman. But yeah, that's most of what happened this past week anyway, since the last show, and a lot of that was in the last couple of days. What are you gonna do? All right, so before we get going on anything super awesome, dived in, detailed, or anything like that, let's take a look at what we've got on today's show. Hooters doesn't understand their business model, apparently, and don't know if it's ever going to come back to be what it once was. Let's see, we got Elon Musk sets new Doge targets, and it's about time. Super pumped about that. First ever Rumble rant. Yeah, you guys are going to get a Rumble rant today, and it's stupid. It's just stupid, but it's fun. Maybe. Hollywood doesn't understand economics. This is just something that you and I and everybody that you've ever encountered understands what's going on in Hollywood, and apparently they don't. So, a little eye-opening for them, I guess. Maybe too little too late. And as I mentioned earlier, Cory Booker fights for the spotlight. We'll talk about that in a little bit more depth. Not in a lot of depth. I'm going to try to make it pretty quick because he spoke for 25 hours. I'm not trying to give the man that much more time and attention, to be fair. But yeah, that's what we got today. And before we get into all that, our clip of the week.
Look at the unfair trade practices that we have. 50% from the European Union on American dairy. You have a 700% tariff from Japan on American rice. You have a 100% tariff from India on American agricultural products. You have nearly a 300% tariff from Canada on American butter and American cheese. This makes it virtually impossible for American products to be imported into these markets, and it has put a lot of Americans out of business and out of work over the past several decades. So it's time for reciprocity, and it's time for a president to take historic change to do what's right for the American people, and that's going to take place.
God bless that woman. Yeah, you guys know I love her, and so does Leah, who sent in that clip of the week. Thank you so much, Leah. Another shout out to you for, again, bringing something. I mean, she puts in, I think she submitted like 5 or 6 different clips this week. I know she was holding them from last week probably. And 2 of them, I think, were Caroline Levitt. She knows I like some Caroline. So with that said, again, shout out Leah. Thank you so much for putting that one up here. And again, with all the ones that you submit, they're always great. And love me some Leah, really do. Leah's super, super supportive. And I do want to share real quick the actual link that she shared it from, the X post here. Again, it's not anything crazy, but again, it is something to hear it and to visually see it again, because the sheet that she was showing was a little, kind of hard to read for the average man. So this says, holy Caroline Levitt brings a chart and shuts down fake news media with tariff facts. That's right, 700% tariff from Japan on rice. 50% tariff from the EU on American dairy, and 100% tariff from India on agricultural products. We come with receipts. Yes, we do. So, for folks that don't know this, and that's the thing, is that when you watch mainstream media, so often you only get one side of the news. Oh, America's implementing tariffs. It's going to ruin us. It's going to ruin our relationship. This is a prime example to show that we don't know what's going on. I say we. I think most of you guys that watch this show, you watch other shows. I'm not going to credit myself here at all, but you watch other shows and you're well informed. But most people aren't. Most people watch mainstream media and they only hear the Trump negatives. Oh, well, Trump tariffs and Trump tariffs this and Trump tariffs that, and his going to raise it. What about all the tariffs that are already implemented against us? You know what I'm saying? They don't ever present that. They never show that. So, whatever. Tune into this show. Make sure you share it so other people see it. Whoever else you're watching, I'm sure you're watching other great channels. We are the media now. So share our shows with your friends, repost them, reshare them, tweet them, X them. I don't know. Do whatever you got to do. Get these shows out there for people to see. It is a free way to support your favorite content creator. I'm not just saying that for me, obviously, because I know I ain't that great, but share it for whoever, and that's how we get our voice out there. That's how we get heard. And that's how we reach more people. And that's what we want to do. We want to reach more people, not just for our own good, but to further the stretch of truth and knowledge and compete face to face with misinformation and misdirection that's out there by the mainstream media. So, guys, I appreciate your support in that. I don't often push that. I don't know if I ever really push that, other than liking and following or subscribing. But yeah, share the show, share the show, and share your favorite content creator show. That goes a long, long, long way. So appreciate you guys doing that there. But yeah, so thank you for the clip of the week again, Leah. If you're watching and you don't know what the clip of the week is, every Monday, usually Monday morning, if I get around to it Monday morning, I know my Monday morning is earlier than some of y'all's, but usually Monday morning, I will post a call on X for the clip of the week. So any interesting, entertaining, funny, silly, serious, deep, whatever clips that you may see on, the interwebs, wherever it may be, drop the link or drop the post or whatever down in the comments section of my call for the clip of the weeks. And, if I pick yours, I'll give you a shout out on the show. It's, again, just another way to interact and stay in touch with you, the wonderful people that for some reason watch this show. All right, on to the first story here. We're going to talk about Hooters.
Nice set of Hooters you got there.
I beg your pardon?
The owls, they're beautiful.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about the real reason why people went to Hooters.
That's because you have big jugs. Your boobs are huge. I want to squeeze them. Mama.
So I can tell you that my local Hooters has closed down, and yeah, I don't even know if there's a Hooters around anymore. Hooters is not doing very well for a myriad of reasons, but yeah, the founders kind of have a different take on it. They're gonna try some new things. So here's an article I found which was odd to me. So if it's odd to me, I figured I'd share with you guys. Maybe it'd be odd to you guys too. This is from the Sun, or the U.S. Sun specifically. It says bouncing back. Hooters' founders reveal last-ditch effort to save brand by axing iconic bikini nights as bankruptcy looms. What do you think? Let's look at a little bit here. Let's see. The iconic chain plans to rescue itself by axing one of its nearest and dearest traditions, bikini nights. Okay, so that's what Hooters is supposed to look like. That's what Hooters is supposed to look like. Okay. What does it say? The chain is feared to be nearing bankruptcy. Absolutely. Says among the plans to turn Hooters' fortunes around, the company will also use fresher ingredients and quicker service, Bloomberg reported. Above all, Hooters is trying to change its image instead of restricting itself to those who might be considered its core clientele. The owners feel like things started to take a turn for worse when its private equity owners turned it from a beachy destination into something far more risque. But in 2021, the company brought in new uniforms that looked more like underwear instead of the jogging shorts that the original Hooters debuted with. The company also introduced the aptly named Bikini Nights, which saw waitresses serve customers in literal bikinis.
Give me a hell yeah!
Hooters has always prided itself on walking the line between edgy and family-friendly, but a board cultural reset has made the brand look more and more outdated. Neil Kiefer, chief executive officer of the founder-owned unit, HMC Hospitality Group, which owns Hooters, said, "I'm calling it a re-Hooterization." Look, come here. So Hooters used to be pretty cool because it had hot chicks in little B shorts, and they usually had big boobs. You know, let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. The wings were mid. The service is slow because you have the chicks with the short shorts and the big boobs waiting on you. So I think part of it is intentionally to be slow to keep you there longer to look at the chicks in the short shorts and the big boobs that are usually very attractive, or used to be. You know, foreshadowing. Yeah, so you didn't really mind that the service was slow, but people aren't going there because of the quality and speed of the service. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Most everything's pretty much overpriced. And, yeah, so it's pretty much the boobs. You know, it's the hot women. But Hooters is like, no, we got to start hiring dudes that think they're chicks, and we got to start hiring less attractive women and people that have no butts or boobs and stuff. And, you know, there was this fear of being canceled, or fear of being replaced by, you know, Applebee's or something, maybe. I don't know. You wanted to be more competitive in the market that you didn't belong in. Bring back the boobs and you'll bring back your business. Doing away with a bikini night is actually probably a good thing, because most of the people working there probably have wieners.
Wiener.
And no one wants to see that slide out of a bikini bottom, because you guys wanted to be woke. You know, want to make sure you appeal to that crowd. Nobody wants to see that. Your clientele that you built your fortunes on are leaving in droves because of what you have become. We'll see if you guys can sustain. I'm sorry, your wings are mid. I know people are going to disagree with me on that one, but you know what? Say what I said. Bring back the boobies. All right, next up, and I'm going to be real quick with this one. This is coming from the New York Post. You love to see it. Doge is out here just killing it. Elon Musk is literally ruining his brand and ruining his image and putting everything on the line to do something beneficial for this country. I mean, good Lord, the dude's like, you know, losing everything. You know, Tesla dealerships are burning down. You know, SpaceX is being ridiculed and criticized. His image of being the left champion for climate change, you know, fighting that with the EV cars, for potentially creating Neuralink, which I don't know about all that. Starlink, you know, everything he's doing is like, all right, great. Oh, you're with Trump now. So he's losing a lot to help us. But again, the left will say, like, the billionaires, not the millionaires, Bernie Sanders, right? But the billionaires need to pay their fair share. They need to do more for society and stuff. Here's a guy doing it. He says, okay, I've got all this money, all this freedom. I'm going to do what I want to do. Instead, I'm going to go in, I'm going to find all the waste that the government has and try to help out. I'm going to try to say, hey, we're spending too much over here. We're investing too much over there. Let's cut some of this extra bloated spending over here, and we can save taxpayers all kinds of money. We can get out of debt faster. That would be a wonderful thing. One of the things I was talking with Ryan Millsap last week about was you're not truly free until you're financially free. And this country is so far in debt to other countries, especially like China. We got to get out of debt. So we got to pay this debt off, or else we're not actually free. And then, yeah, maybe there's a portion that kicks back to us, the taxpayers that have paid all this stuff. That would be cool. I mean, I think most of us would be like, okay, we don't have to have it. Like, just let's pay off the debt. Let's do the right thing. But if you kick back a portion to us that we've paid into it that you're saving, then I think most of us would be happy with something little. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major or anything. That's another topic for another day, of course. Don't really care about that one as much. My point is, we want to see Elon out there doing the right thing, and he is, at risk of losing so much. But I love his next target. Let's look at the New York Post right here. Elon Musk reveals Doge's new target, members of Congress who got strangely wealthy. I mean, we know, right? Okie dokie, it says the world's richest man. It's not factually true, I don't think. I'm sorry. But we'll go with that. That's what the article says. The world's richest man is dying to figure out how lawmakers on Capitol Hill got strangely wealthy despite their comparatively modest public salaries. Speaking at a town hall in Wisconsin Sunday night, Elon Musk suggested that his team at the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, will investigate how certain members of Congress have achieved generational wealth. One attendee at the town hall had asked Musk if DOGE had uncovered evidence of funds wired from the U.S. Agency for International Development, or as we've been calling it, USAID, to Rep. Maxine Waters, Senator Adam Schiff, and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who clearly doesn't know how to grill a hamburger. They'll, the government, send the money overseas to one NGO, non-governmental organization. Then they'll go through a bunch of them, and then I'm highly confident that a bunch of that money then comes back to the United States and lands in the pockets of the people you just mentioned, Musk replied. But it is a circuitous. I'm going to go with that's right because I'm not looking it up. But it is a circuitous route.
My ridiculously circuitous plan is 1/4 complete.
Yeah, that's got to be it, right? Circuitous. You know what? Chef don't judge.
Chef don't judge.
It doesn't go directly, but let's just say that there's a lot of strangely wealthy members of Congress where I'm trying to connect the dots of how they became rich. Rank and file members of Congress make $174,000 annually. Last year, Musk, whose net worth is pegged at $330 billion by Bloomberg, helped kill legislation to raise congressional pay and later supported an increase as a means of fighting corruption. Scores of lawmakers who have spent decades in Congress are millionaires. Two of the wealthiest include former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who has a net worth of about $250 million, and Senator Rick Scott, whose personal fortune hovers around $552 million. Let me say this real quick. He called out, or it's called out in here. Nancy Pelosi, former House Speaker, Democrat. Rick Scott, Senator, Republican, Florida. I want them all. That's the thing again. I keep mentioning the interview with Ryan Millsap last week. That's the thing that Handy News, Third Railify, the Washcast, Front Porch Conservative, so many of us are always doing. We're calling out the right and the left. If one does it and the other does it, hold them both accountable the exact same way. Don't play favoritism. I don't want to go after, AOC and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and have turn a blind eye to people on my side. And I say my side, I don't align myself with some of these folks, but go after all of them, the left, the right, up, down. It doesn't matter to me. If someone's doing something wrong, hold them accountable. If they're doing something right, leave them alone. Easy peasy, right? The other side doesn't do that. They will not do that. They will continue to harp on the opposing side no matter what, while always trying to make themselves look like the victim. Oh, but I only have $250 million, Nancy Pelosi says, as pointing to Senator Rick Scott, who has around $552 million. He is more privileged than I am. They'll do something stupid like that because they are stupid. They are con men and women. Don't forget that. We'll talk about them a little bit more at the end of the show. But you guys see my point. Elon's going after Congress, something most of us have always been in favor of. It would be fantastic to see people get busted and people go to jail if they are doing something wrong. And I don't care if it's on the left or the right or down the middle. If they're Republican, Democrat, Green Party, Independent, Libertarian, whatever. I don't care. I don't care what the alignment is. I don't care. Male, female, black, white, whatever. Jew, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist. I don't care. If you're doing something wrong, you should face that penalty. And again, it doesn't always work out like that. Again, something else we'll get to at the end of the show in the last segment. But what do you know? But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think he's going to uncover some stuff that we don't already know? Is he going to uncover anything that's going to lead to anything? That's really my big question, because Congress and politicians has a really, really good track record of making clippable moments or getting a sound bite or making a loud noise about something, but not actually doing anything about it. No one's ever actually punished. No one's ever actually imprisoned. Nothing ever happens to those that do wrong. We just slap them on the wrist in front of the public and we move on with our lives. Do you think anything will actually come of this? Or if not, is it a waste of time? To me, it's a waste of time if we're not going to do anything. I hope something comes of it. I hope we uncover a new day with this kind of stuff coming out, with this information coming out, with what is revealed through his research, through his investigation and whatnot. If they are finding things, I hope that we can expose the people that are doing wrong, and we can create this new day, this new ideology, this new way of tracking, this new way of, holding people accountable going forward, so that it doesn't continue to happen. So the people are accountable to the taxpayers and not the lobbyist or whoever else is funding them, or even a foreign government. Good Lord, can you imagine what would happen if we actually found foreign governments directly or indirectly put money in the pocket of our congressmen and women? It'd be nuts. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right, guys, so this is my first time doing this, but I had something to come across my path that just rubbed me the wrong way. And you guys know how much I love Rumble. And if you donate money to your favorite creator during a live stream, it's called a Rumble rant. So I thought it was only appropriate to title this section also Rumble Rant. So welcome to our very first Rumble Rant. All right, so this kind of got me fired up, and it's stupid. It really is stupid. I don't even know why I'm sharing this, but it's stupid. It's kind of like Peter Griffin from South Park. You know what really grinds my gears?
You know what really grinds my gears?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. So I got an email from a restaurant that I adore. Love this place. And I love the meal that they were showing. I don't get this meal there. I get something else there. But I'm a Georgia boy. I like what we have down here. We have good stuff. Shrimp and grits is a delicious meal. Shrimp and grits. I like shrimp and grits. I like shrimp. I like grits. Put them together, it's a win. I love it. Fish and grits. I'm in the South. I love grits. Anything with grits, pretty much, right? But shrimp and grits, fantastic meal. Really love it. Here's the problem, and I'll try to throw some pictures up for you. You eat shrimp and grits with a fork. Or a spoon, maybe. I don't know. But you eat it with a utensil. The picture in the email had the shrimp still in the shells. Yes, the shells and the tail still connected to the shrimp. Let me tell you something. It's not fancy. It's lazy. Okay? If I'm eating, let's say, shrimp and grits, where I have to use utensils, I don't want to have to reach in and shell the shrimp. That doesn't make any sense. And at least in the picture, like the shrimp was on top, I can just grab it easy. So, I mean, there's that, I guess. But what about Cajun pasta? Okay, I make Cajun pasta at home. I love Cajun pasta. You know, or gumbo or something. I don't know. There's all kinds of jambalaya. I mean, do you really want to be going to town with your fork, eating some pasta with the sauce and the Creole sauce and the Alfredo Creole, whatever it is, right? And you got your sausage and your bell peppers and, you know, your chicken in there. And then, oh, let me get to the shrimp. Oh, let me put this down and let me shell and detail and everything. Oh, maybe even need to devein it. The shrimp. No, it's gross. It's nasty. It's disgusting. I don't want to dig my fingers in something I'm using utensils on. Whoever thought of that, it's stupid. Quit doing that. And I know people will argue, oh, it's more moist and it's fresher in the shell. Cool. Grill it. Low country boil. Do something where I can get to it with my hands without digging through a sauce and pasta and most of my meal. I know y'all are like, what's this fat guy talking about? Fat guy's talking about food. What else do fat guys talk about? That and humidity. So listen to me and listen good. It's not classy. It's lazy. Take the shrimp out of the, hold on. Take the shrimp out of the shells. All right. This has been a Rumble Rant. So apparently some folks in Hollywood are just now starting to figure out how economics works and, you know, this thing called money. I saw this article and I was just like, really? Really just now figuring it out, huh? All right, then. I keep mentioning that last week I had Ryan Millsap on, and one of the things that he was talking about was the billions of dollars invested in the film industry last year, and how it didn't feel like when we saw billions of dollars worth of art coming out of Hollywood last year. And I couldn't agree more. How much crap has come out that hasn't turned a profit. Nobody wants to see it. Some people didn't even know some of this stuff was coming out. And, you know, we didn't ask for this. There's some stuff that was being remakes and reboots. That nobody wants it. They've spent billions of dollars on this. Let's look at this article real quick. So this comes from Deadline. What is this breaking news? Fox picks up 4 seasons of The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, and returning American Dad and mega deal with Disney. Congratulations, Fox. That's fantastic. That's not the story we're covering. I used to love these shows. I haven't had time to watch it. The Simpsons. I grew up on The Simpsons. I had a Bart Simpson phone in my room back when we had landlines. And it wasn't my own phone line. It was the family phone line. I just had my own phone in the room, you know? Bart Simpson is pretty cool. Anyways, moving on to the story. It says Warner Brothers' Jeff Goldstein. I think we know what's up there. Sounds alarm on economics of making movies. We have to figure out how we can right the ship. From CinemaCon. Look at these guys. They're all sitting around like, we don't know why movies cost so much and how we're not making any money. The major story in Hollywood, says Jeff Goldstein, president of global distribution for Warner Brothers Pictures, is how expensive it's getting to make movies and to market them to a fragmented audience, even as technology sends first reactions to a film around the world in a nanosecond. That's part of the problem, actually. That's the bigger story here, he said on a CinemaCon panel Monday as the Las Vegas confab kicked off with talk of Windows marketing, cinema advertising in international markets. The economics of making motion pictures are more problematic now than ever. What's the value proposition, he said. How do you make movies that net a studio money in today's economy, and particularly from legacy studios? It's much different than streaming companies that have different kind of funding. We have to figure out how we can right the ship, he said, adding, I think that we'll get there pretty soon because we have to. We don't have a choice. you don't have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a film in hopes that you can put another 100 million or so behind the advertising of it, in hopes that you'll get close to $1 billion at the box office just to make your money back and be profitable. How many movies are we seeing now? I mean, they're going all out. They're going all out on all these movies now. I mean, Deadpool and Wolverine, great nostalgia bait. All the characters they put in there, the budget that was involved with that, I'm sure, man, but it made money. Spider-Man, was it No Way Home or whatever? I think that's what it was. I don't know, with the 3 Spider-Man dude in there. Again, they threw everything in there and it was huge. It made money. It's great. It's fantastic. Not every movie has to be that way. You can make movies that don't cost an arm and a leg and don't require you to make $1 billion at the box office to be profitable. We used to have movies come out all the time that cost fractions of that. I mean, look, I'm not a great filmmaker. I'm an internationally award-winning filmmaker with, a couple different films, and my biggest budgeted film of mine, not that necessarily that I've worked on, but my last film was $900. That was all I spent, and it was a short film. It was 30 minutes long, but I did it for $900. And if I was a Hollywood studio or whatever, I probably could have spent to pay everyone and to get better locations and whatnot. Just on that 30-minute one, I probably could have spent $20,000 to $30,000 and cranked out something fairly similar to what we did. But everybody came together and worked together for free and whatnot. Of course, you don't expect that in Hollywood by any means. Everybody's got to get paid, and I ain't mad about it. Do what you do. But my point is that not everybody has to get rich. You don't have to always have A-list actors. Some of these people that you guys have as A-list actors aren't actually A-list actors anymore. We're actually kind of getting tired of some of these people over and over again. I don't know about you guys, but man, Kevin Hart, Pedro Pascal, The Rock, I just went blank, but Jack Black, Seth Rogen, countless others. I'll just say countless others because I'm going blank right off the top of my head. I mean, it's the same people in movies over and over and over again. They're in 2 or 3 movies a year. Good Lord. I don't care to see it. I don't care who's in the movie. Just make good movies again. Again, that's something that Ryan and I spoke about last week. It's something I've spoken about with Sean over at Third Railify, him and our good friend Mike over there. And so many other people. Just make good movies again. If you make good movies and put good talent in there, it's going to happen. And it may not be a blockbuster. I would love to see films more like, Man on Fire or Frailty or Fallen or any of those kind of mid-range movies that were very successful and very good come out and do good at the box office. They could make hundreds of millions of dollars and be shot for less than $100 million and be incredibly profitable for the studio. As far as again, the profitability, when you look at, what was it, when Endgame came out, the box office numbers were huge, but the budget was huge. Now, I don't know if over time they surpassed or not, but Joker came out at the same time. Joker's budget was extremely less than Endgame. And the box office wasn't as big as Endgame, but it was huge. It was a good box office return on Joker. Joker actually was more profitable than Endgame was, as far as box office numbers and everything like that go. I don't know about merchandising or, all the other stuff that goes into it, but from a box office return, it was more profitable than Endgame was. And that's all you need is movies like that. And there are a dime a dozen. There's so many out there that can be grabbed onto and put out, whether it's in your own streaming platforms that everybody seems to own now, or it's, in the movie theater or whatever it is. Let's just get back to the basics of making good films. Like, are these, and not even to mention that the movies that they're putting out have these far left radical agendas about, virtue signaling and DEIs and, checking off these check boxes of making sure everybody's included in there, and, sexualities and trans this and gay that. And it's like, look, it's okay to have the stuff in there if it makes sense in the film, in my opinion, any of it, I don't care. But when we're forcing it in there, we're taking away, the artist's ability to make the art the way that they see the art being created. It's like telling Da Vinci you can only paint with 4 colors or something like that. Who does that? Let's get back to making good art. So what do you guys think? Are these studios figuring this out too late? Are they going to be able to come back from this, you think? Is this going to signal a change in their messaging, or are they just going to keep doing what they've been doing? Man bad, white people bad, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and everything over story all over the place. Are they going to start investing in lower budgeted films and try to keep doing big one, or are they going to try to keep doing big ones like the one that was just recently announced? Some of the cast awards. Was it Avengers Doomsday? And they got everybody in that. I can't imagine the budget for that film, and they're not even done announcing everybody that's going to be in there, from my understanding. And then here's a question for you guys. You can answer some of those in the comments if you want to, but here's one I want to know from you. Do you feel like the films that have come out recently are better or worse than what we've had, 10, 20, 30 years ago? I remember seeing films from like the 50s and 60s and maybe the 70s, and I saw films that we were getting the 80s and the 90s and early 2000s. I was like, wow, we've really come a long way. This is great. But then I've seen the 2010s, 2020s. I feel like we've regressed. I've said that many, many times, that I feel like we've regressed in the sense of art itself, in every genre, and in clothing and cars, and like I say, in fashion and car designs. All the cars look the same. The fashion all looks the same. Movies, music, everything is just so cookie cutter generic, and just it's crap. It's crap. I mean, you got some nuggets out there for sure, but I feel like we've regressed. We've moved backwards. But I would love to know what you guys have to say down in the comments below. Let me know. I'm incredibly curious to see if I'm not the only one that feels that way. All right, so let's go ahead and close out the show talking about Spartacus. Okay, good old Cory Booker. I will give you the shortened version of what we're seeing that is going on with Cory Booker, and it's actually a little bit bigger than that. We'll talk about that a little bit toward the end here, but here's the shortened version. Here's the highlight version. All right, first up. From AV News, Cory Booker sets a record with marathon Senate speech. Will it rally anti-Trump resistance? No, I don't think it will. But that's the headline. All right, he sets a record on this marathon Senate speech. Yada yada yada. Look at him. Here's Cory Booker. He killed it. He crushed it. Right? Okay. Moving on. The Hill. Booker says it irked him that Thurmond held previous record to stop people like me from being in the Senate. That's right. We're gonna read in a little bit something that was said in here in one of these articles about how it irked him. It irked him. I don't like the way it does that. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna read it in here. I'm gonna go to another article. Yeah. All right. And let's see. If the left didn't have inconsistency, they would have no consistency. Here's Cory Booker's tweet from 2022. The filibuster has been abused to stop reforms supported by the vast majority of Americans, from background checks to protecting the right of vote. We must stop the abuse of power. So filibuster bad. Let's hear what he has to say.
The filibuster in a long period, the early 1900s to the 1970s, was used on average one time a year. It was a rarely invoked thing. Right. It wasn't invoked in Supreme Court justices. It wasn't invoked for a lot of major pieces of legislation. It began to be abused, especially with Mitch McConnell, really taking the filibuster to a whole new level under Barack Obama. So to say that that Joe Biden has changed. The real change you need to point to is the way the modern Republican Party picked up the filibuster and so abused it to the point now where many of us are saying this is ridiculous. We're stopping some fundamental progress in our country that the majority of people agree with. We need to revisit this filibuster.
You know, like the majority of voters voted for Trump, and all you did was bitch and moan about him. He wasn't actually filibustering anything. He wasn't trying to get legislation blocked or anything. He was just complaining about Trump. Let's see. What about this one? This is from 2019. Now, this whole thread from the RNC research here, the links for all this are down in the show notes below. This whole thread is nothing but gold of all these different Democrats being inconsistent on their thoughts on filibustering. All right, here's 2019. Democrat Senator Cory Booker said he would personally resist efforts to get rid of the filibuster. Didn't he just say he wanted to get rid of it because it was being abused? Now, in 2019, he said he's gonna make sure we still have it, right? It says he's gonna resist efforts to get rid of the filibuster, saying Democrats should not be doing anything to mess with the strength of the filibuster.
And what will you do about the filibuster so you can maybe move some of these issues that you want to...
The filibuster is a decision that's made in the Senate. My colleagues and I, everybody I've talked to believe that the legislative filibuster should stay there, and I will personally resist efforts to get rid of it.
And what will you do about...
All right, so he's for it now. He was against it in 2022. He's for it again in 2019. Again, kind of seems a little inconsistent there. And again, I will point out this whole thread from the RNC research is about different people saying, get rid of it, bring it back, get rid of it, I support it, whatever. It's fantastic. All right, gotta love it. Let's see, here's what he accomplished. Let's go over to MSNBC, a bastion of truth. MSNBC, Cory Booker's marathon speech started off solo. It became a team effort. I have no idea what they're talking about there. But let's go down here to the same paragraph here. It says, it wasn't technically a filibuster that Booker conducted. He wasn't talking to delay a vote on any specific agenda item. Instead, Booker said in giving his marathon speech, he was disrupting the normal business of the United States Senate. He was disrupting business, Senate business, Congress business, right? He was disrupting business. Okay, that sounds really, really familiar, doesn't it? Well, over here on CBS News, this is an old article talking about the Supreme Court examining the federal obstruction law used to prosecute Trump and January 6th rioters. What law is this? What are they talking about? Well, if we scroll down here, it says, at the crux of the case known as Fisher v. U.S., it is whether federal prosecutors can apply a law passed in the wake of the Enron scandal, which makes it a crime to corruptly obstruct or impede an official proceeding. Now, there's a thin line there. Official proceeding, official business, normal business, whatever. I'm sure that you have to be careful how you word it because you might implicate somebody. But it sounds very, very similar, the two of these things, right? And let's not forget this one. Another example, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, my girl from Georgia. Democrat Rep. Jamal Bowman pulled the fire alarm in the Cannon building this afternoon and interrupted the official proceedings of the House as Republicans work to keep the government open. I'm calling on the DOJ to prosecute him using the same law they used to prosecute J6 defendants, for interfering with an official proceeding. The Democrats literally will do anything to shut our government down because billions aren't going to their favorite country, Ukraine. That's cute. That's great. That's wonderful. But really, this is the meat and potatoes right here. So if you guys remember, Rep. Jamal Bowman, former rep, let's clear that, former rep, because he lost. He was taking down the signs about pulling the alarm. I mean, it's on video. He was taking them down. He knew they were there, and then he pulled the alarm to go out the door to get to a vote. And he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just got confused, and this door is usually open, and I don't know why I couldn't go out it. What about all those signs you pulled out that says don't go out this door? You walked past the sign and there were signs like on the windowsill. I mean, I know some of the, say some, a good majority of the Democrat politicians are retarded. But do you have to prove that you are all the time? Yeah, I kind of feel like, again, he disrupted a proceeding. January 6 rioters interrupted a proceeding. Cory Booker interrupted normal business. One may say that's a proceeding, an official proceeding. You know, is there going to be any accountability for him? Well, no, of course not, because there wasn't any for Jamal Bowman. Now, Jamal Bowman got a slap on the wrist for pulling a fire alarm without there actually being a fire, but nothing for interrupting the official proceedings. Again, isn't it funny that the law only comes down on one side over the other on a regular, consistent basis? Again, as I stated early on in the show, talking about DOGE coming down on those that are making money in Congress, just randomly making all this wealth, right? I hope they go after everybody, Republicans and Democrats alike. If you break the law or you do something against the rules and regulations of the House or Senate or whatever, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, I hope you're held accountable. When Trump does wrong, I'm one of the first ones to call him out. I have no problem calling this guy out at all, or anybody else in his cabinet for that matter. What's his name? Mike Waltz or Matt Waltz? What's his name? Mike Waltz that included that journalist or whatever in there. I know there's probably some conspiracy theory stuff in there, some other thing, whatever. I'm like, hey, just fire the guy. It's either incompetence or it's intentional and it shouldn't have happened. Fire the guy. Boom. I'll stand with Democrats on that one. Fire them. Get rid of them. If you're entrusted with security information and intelligence, and I know that's not what was actually shared. Again, knowledge is power. But still, like hold people accountable. Fire him if he did wrong. I'm okay with that. But again, that's neither here nor there. Let's just do the right thing. Now, here's what I'll say in closing. It seems the Dems are starting to fight the spotlight for the next presidential run. Chris, what do you mean? Okay. Gavin Newsom started a podcast. Michelle Obama started a podcast. Bernie and AOC are hitting the road holding rallies. Tim Walz has already said he's going to go out there and hold rallies and talk to folks, and he's been doing it in the saddest way, but he's out there doing it. And now you got Cory Booker up here running his mouth for 25 hours or whatever it was, accomplishing really nothing except for where he's got headlines now and he beat a record or something, you know. So hey, look at Cory. He's the leader that we need on the party. And I've actually heard news stations say that, like, this is the leadership we need. This is the leadership we need. This is someone we need in leadership for the Democrat Party. The thing is, the Democrats have no leadership. So now everyone is vying for that position and they're fighting for that spotlight to be the one that gets that next position, be it a leadership role on committees or, you know, majority whip or majority this or that or whatever. I don't know at all, you know. Or my thoughts, the next presidential candidate. So I'm pretty sure we're starting to see who all is going to be running, most of which we already knew. But I really feel like that's what we're seeing come together now for the 2028 presidential run. Let me know what you guys think. I really do think that's what's going on here, is they're starting to compete right now for the limelight, for the spotlight, for the attention, for the headlines. Because as soon as you see one do something, we forget about the other. We quit talking about the other. We move on, and they're gonna have their own little battles in there. I think that's what we got. But other than that, is there anything that you think Cory Booker accomplished with this stunt? Can't really say that I think there is. I mean, the people that are anti-Trump are anti-Trump. The people that are pro-Trump are pro-Trump. I don't think what he did influenced anyone one way or the other. I will say that when he closed out, he said, "Get in good trouble," or "create good trouble," or whatever it is. And I saw a post about in my town, and unfortunately, my wife will be out of town, so I will have my daughter, who I don't want to leave at home for this. I don't want to take her with me, but I saw people that were going to go hit the streets and create good trouble or get in good trouble in my, well, not my town, a town over. And I really want to go and interview some of those people, you know, man on the street style, and see what they're talking about. But I don't think I'm going to get to. But if I can, I will, because I think that's going to be good stuff. But I'm interested to see what good trouble is. And let's be clear, usually when the left hears good trouble, they just hear trouble. You know, burning down buildings, flipping over cars, shooting people that wear MAGA hats, killing cops, you know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. And then the politicians that put it out there and have supported it continue to support it and even do fundraising to bail them out of jail and to make murals of them and all kinds of stuff. That's my 2 cents. Well, that's it, folks. Thank you guys for sticking around and watching the show. I do encourage you to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you enjoyed the show today and you want to see more, and again, do share it. I mentioned that at the very beginning of the show. That is one of the best ways to get it out there. Yes, liking and commenting definitely helps with the algorithm, and I do appreciate that, especially if you're not subbed or following. You know, do that too. Consider doing that. But if you can share, if you really did enjoy it, please share it with somebody, or the morning nuggets as I split these up. If there's a specific segment that you think somebody's going to really benefit from, or you would like to share and get that particular bit of information out, please share it. Share it on your social media or wherever. It really helps us expand our audience. Stuff like this is absolutely suppressed. When I look at my numbers on different social media platforms, it's quite obvious that some are suppressing this kind of take on the news more than others. And I think you know what I'm saying. All right, so don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good fun stuff. Don't forget tomorrow night, Saturday night, Off the Rails over on Third Railify's channel. We'll be joined by Coach Joyce, and we're going to have a conversation about faith, which will be really interesting. I think it'll be fun. And to top that off, we'll also be having my next Monday Night Mayhem Live. Will be April 7th, Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And it will also be a conversation about faith. So a full weekend of talking about faith, something that is near and dear to my heart. I'm so grateful for the gift of salvation through Jesus Christ from God. And I can't wait to share that with other people. And I really, really enjoy talking about that. And I would love for people to accept that free gift of salvation as well and come to know the Lord. And guys, don't forget to go check out Pure Blood Media. Link down in the show notes below. They've got fantastic news aggregator with triple fact-checked articles that roll through there. There has to be at least 3 sources that fact-check the article, so you know you're getting something that's legit. You'll see that on the news aggregator just scrolling on by or down link below. And then they also have a TV guide that's pretty cool. You can see the different content creators and when they're live streaming, so you can go support those folks. And again, they're vetted to make sure that they are also spreading the truth gospel, so to speak, as far as, you know, truth, reality, good news of what's going on in the world, and not doing the misinformation and misdirection that mainstream media is doing. Guys, as always, I appreciate you. Hope you'll be back with me. Not next week. Reminder, we won't be here next week. The following week, but we will have the Monday Night Mayhem Live. I will have some reactions probably going up, but I do have some film editing I got to do. I got to get ready for a photography job that I got coming up. But yeah, so not next week, but the following week I should be back. And can't wait to see you guys then. Until then, find me on Third Railify's Off the Rails on Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And this coming Monday, April 7th, Monday Night Mayhem Live, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll see you there, and we'll catch you on the next one.
I order the club sandwich all the time, and I'm not even a member, man. I don't know how I get away with it. I like my sandwiches with 3 pieces of bread. So do I. Well, let's form a club. Okay, but we need some more stipulations. Yes, we do. Instead of cutting the sandwich once, let's cut it again. Hell yeah, 4 triangles. We'll position them into a circle. And in the middle, we will dump chips. Or potato salad. Cool, I can deal with that. Let me ask you a question. How you feel about frilly toothpicks? I'm for them. Well, this club is formed then.